you have probably got the Villages market update for the third quarter of 2022. So that means how many pre-owned homes were sold in the first 3 quarters and how many new homes were sold by the Villages. Now, this is the property of the Villages, and you get this nice report which breaks down by area and sales. What I would like to do, I've compared the numbers to the third quarter of last year, and I did a spreadsheet. I also have quarters 1 and 2. And I kind of want to do this for people who are looking at moving to the Villages. I think there's 3 things that people want to know the numbers. Are home prices coming down? Are the number of days it takes for a home to sell taking longer? Do you have more time? And just how many homes are they building each year is in these reports. So let's take a quick look. So the first thing I'm going to pull up is the third quarter 2022. And you can see on the third quarter, through the first 1, 2, and 3 quarters on the pre-owned homes, they have sold 1,888 in the first 3 quarters for an average sale price of $476,000. Average days on the market were 24. On new homes, they sold 2,772 at an average price of $422,000. The average days on the market were 8. Year to date of both, they have closed on 4,660. And I'm just doing those first 3 quarters as a total because then I'm going to pull up, I have the fourth quarter of 2021. So let's put that up. The fourth quarter is all 4 quarters of last year, but it also tells you quarter number 4 what they sold. So guess what? I can take the number of homes sold minus the fourth quarter, and I can get the third quarter. And I'm going to do that on a spreadsheet. But when you look at these, last year's total for the whole year, they sold 3,118 homes. That's a lot. That's more than the pace that they're at for pre-owned. For new homes, they sold 4,004. And they're running under that. And when I put up the spreadsheet comparison, we'll compare third quarter to third quarter to be fair. The time on the market, this year's 24 days. Last year, it was average of 30 days. But it's a little deceiving and that's on the pre-owned. And the new homes, it said it averaged 39 days on the market. It's just kind of, the numbers are surprising. But in 2021, they sold a total of 7,122. So those are some rough numbers. Now let's just really answer those bigger questions that we had earlier. And the questions are pretty simple. So let me pull this up on the screen. I took these numbers off from those reports. Now we're talking totals. We're not talking by area, which we'll go into a little bit. But let's just take the totals that are important off those reports. Homes closed. That's the big number that you need to do. And you can see how in the first column, I had the report that told me 3,118 pre-owned homes and 618 were sold in the fourth quarter. I minus that out. Through 3 quarters, they had 2,500. So let's compare that to now. They have 1,888. So they've sold on pre-owned homes 612 less. But the numbers, if I'm looking at last year's average, now this is not a true third quarter to third quarter comparison, but their average price for homes in 2021 were $371,000. This year, through 3 quarters, it's $476,000. Again, we're still doing pre-owned. That is $105,000 on average more. So they may be selling less houses, but they're selling them for more. New homes. Let's take a look at new homes. Through 3 quarters of last year, they sold 3,013 homes. This year, they've sold 2,772. They're only short by 241. And keep in mind, this could be because when a village area opens up, they sell all the homes pretty rapidly. This could matter for whether there's 100 or 200 homes ready to go. You could have a high quarter and a low quarter. So you never know if in the fourth quarter, as Richmond opens up in some of these other areas, they could be pretty close to last year's numbers in total. This one surprised a little bit. The third quarter totals, the average for this year is $422,000. Last year, for the whole year, $371,000. The number you see is already on there, but they're running $51,000 more. So I think I had reported in a previous video when I looked at my home and what it's going for, it was going for about $25,000, $30,000 more this year than it was last year. This kind of makes sense. Their average home sales are $51,000 more for a new house. What I find interesting is in their total report, they say average days on the market for the whole of last year, 39. But their fourth quarter shows 8. So I'm not trusting that number because I know new homes usually go really fast. And they're running around 8 on average year to date now. New homes usually are sold quickly. And it's hard to believe in 2021 it took longer than it did this year. So I still think there's a competition to get a house. I think this is an area that you need to know. So what really surprises me is the total homes, whether it's both pre and new, they're running 853 homes short comparing third quarter to third quarter. But again, looking at the economy, I think it's a little anticipated that it would go down. I think people are a little more hesitant. Interest rates are up. I would think they were down, but I think they're selling everything that they built in order to have an 8-day average days on the market. That's just unbelievable. That is unbelievable to continue that in 2022. So I think those of you that are waiting patiently, hoping the market changes and prices come down in the villages, I don't see it. I think prices are going up. Homes are being sold for more. And I also think it's not showing out that the villages who sell the homes, they're taking any longer than they did in the past. So not great news for those that are sitting on the fence thinking people overpaid in 20 and 21. They may not have. They have paid lower amounts. And I think part of this is construction costs. There's no doubt that it costs more today with inflation to build a house than it did back in 20 and 21. And so I think that's why the costs are up. There's a lot of things to factor in here, so it's not a perfect, because a lot of people you may have some real estate agents that go online and tell you houses are coming down or they're selling for less than the asking price. Yeah, that may be true. But the houses were over inflated compared to the new. And even looking at this, am I really comparing that pre-owned homes are going for a lot more than new homes on average? I'm not so sure exactly what that tells me. I mean, you can interpret these numbers as you want, but I think these numbers are pretty surprising. So I wanted to do this video to give you a handle at what is really happening at the villages one year compared to the other. And I think the villages is marching on, whether the economy is doing its thing or not. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully it answered those questions of, is the market going down and houses prices going lower? The answer here on this spreadsheet is no, they are not. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.